despite all of the rain throughout the week here, there is a beautiful just scenery that we get to see the entire time while we're here. Of course, there's the famous Macy's, there's just a beautiful skyline, and so we'll deal with that, but we'll also deal with what the Pacers were able to do last night that you guys mentioned, that amazing comeback, trailing by 9 with under a minute left, Haliburton hitting the game-tying shot to send it to overtime before the Pacers put it on ice to take that 1-0 series lead. Now, we've seen this as being a trend the last few weeks. You go back to last week in round 2 against the Cavaliers, they rallied from 7 points down with under a minute to go to take game 2 and take a 2-game series lead. So the Pacers know this situation. They've been in it before, they've experienced it, but the message still remains the same with this team. This thing is far from over.
And now, after an experience like that, you've got to be able to wipe it, move on, and get ready for the next battle. I mean, these are all going to be epic battles. They're going to be physical. There's going to be a lot going on, and we're going to have to be ready.
You guys talked last night basically saying that you were going to have to clean a lot up. You all had a sense that you were going to have a lot to clean up. Just what did you get more of a sense of in terms of that field possession of what stood out more to you in terms of what you had to clean up?
Yeah. Well, defensively, 135 is a lot, and we had a poor defensive first quarter, first half. 69 is a lot, too many. There's just a lot of areas, every aspect of defense, transition, pick and roll, isolation, certainly blockouts are, coming into the series, there was a lot of talk about it. You got to do better there.
Coach, you have more than 2,000 games in your career as an NBA coach. How many crazy games like that do you have in your list?
I don't know, but look, it's a time of year where dynamic things happen. I mean, just throughout the league, we've seen a lot of variance in games and a lot of comebacks and all that, and so things happen. We were fortunate last night, but we gotta move forward.
Rick, you've had a lot of looks at Brunson over the last couple of years. Gets 43 in game 1. Like, what is the greatest challenges to defending him night after night?
He's a great player. I mean, he's a great scorer. He's a great leader. He does so much for their attack, and I just have so much respect for him. Our team does, and making it hard on him is difficult because he finds angles, he gets places, and he routinely makes shots that if most players took them, you'd say that's a bad shot. I mean, that's just a bad shot. But he's a bucket, man. He just gets the ball in the basket.
Like you had him in Dallas. Could you have envisioned him getting to this level?
Well, I've had this question. I'm not surprised knowing his level of determination, how much of a winner he is, and how he really has always embraced the doubters. He loves proving people wrong. And I mean, I could tell you a lot of stories about, where he's come from and how much he's improved. But I mean, he's basically made the statement here over the last 3 years, pretty, in a very strong way.
You guys talk a lot
Go ahead.
You guys talk a lot about defending Giannis with varying and different coverages in the first round. How much of that applies to what you have to do to Brunson now in this series?
I mean, they're both great players. They're both in that small handful of guys that are essentially unguardable. And so the difference is they're different positions, and you got to be ready. You got to have, a toolbox full of tools, and not all the tools are going to work.
I asked Tyrese about this last night. He thought that the pressure that you applied defensively, if that may have worn the Knicks down a little bit to open the door for the comeback. What do you think about that idea?
We're just trying to make it difficult, and So, we're a team very reliant on one another. Our style is a style that, the sum is great. The sum of the parts is greater than the individuals. And we have some great individual players, but the Knicks are a great team. They've had a great year. Some things happened last night that fell in our favor, and as I said, we've got to now wipe it and be ready to move on to the next battle.
Rick Tyrese said last night, he's obviously hit some big clutch shots in the playoffs, but he said when he first got to Indiana, he was able to sort of get experience in those situations, taking clutch shots, taking shots to game on the line. Just how have you seen him grow over the years, getting more comfortable in late game situations, executing like that?
Well, he's embraced Indiana right from the very first time I had dinner with him the night of the trade. I had a short conversation with him to tell him that we're basically giving him the ball. Asked him if he was comfortable running the team, making play calls whenever we needed to make play calls, and all those kinds of things. And his eyes lit up. He was really enthusiastic about that. And then we had a couple of years where we were building, and he had the opportunity to get in some of those situations, have success, go through some ups and downs and things like that. And yeah, he's just continued to work the process, and so he's a special guy, and he's obviously a special player.
You saw Reggie, where you saw a lot of Reggie, where he embraced being the villain here and thrived in that role. Does Tyrese have that mindset as well?
We're just trying to make it hard on the Knicks and win games. I'm not into starting controversy. There's no point.
Rick, Aaron Nesmith, the last couple of series has just been insane. How has he just grown and embraced that role of being that all-around player?
Yeah, he's a hard worker. He's done it the hard way. He got drafted by Boston. He was in a situation where he was behind a lot of great players that were more established, and he got some minutes, but not a whole lot. But every day he was battling with Tatum and Jalen Brown, and he got better and better. And when his opportunity came, he was traded to us. I've shared this story with some of you in early July of, I guess, 22. He flew to Vegas on his own and asked if he could play on the summer league team. And he was going into his third year as becoming a veteran, and he just wanted to be a part of something and have an opportunity to grow and get better. And he's worked and worked and worked, and now he's obviously a very important part of our team.
Rick, we haven't got a chance to get into this because of all the good stuff that you guys did at the end of the game. But you were only down 2 when Jalen picked up his 5th foul, and then they went on that crazy run. Other than the score aside, what were the things that you thought happened to allow that, and what bothered you about the run that they were on without him?
Yeah, I mean, look, they got a great team. I mean, they were third in the East this year. They knocked off Boston. I mean, they beat a really good Detroit team that was right there with the entire league. I don't know what bothered me was the score. They got on a run, and their team, regardless of who's in the game, is very capable of going on runs. It doesn't have to be all their starters or anything like that. McBride and Payne. I've seen these guys have great runs throughout the year, and in many instances in the playoffs. So, Robinson is a huge factor. We haven't seen a Chewy yet, but he's in the mix. I understand the question, but just you can analyze every little last thing. When the score goes the wrong way, you call timeout and try to do something about it. And so I don't remember the whole sequence of events, but we bounced back well, gave ourselves a chance, and got out of there alive.
So important was what you got from Obi on the glass. You talked a lot about rebounding coming into this to get 10 rebounds out of Obi in that situation. How big was that piece in terms of one of the things that's not talked about, I guess, as much?
Yeah, Obi's grown so much as a player. You know, when he came to us, we talked to him about improving his defense, improving his rebounding. He's really worked at both things. Last night, he made a few of the most decisive plays. The follow dunk in overtime was a huge one, and then the dunk to put us up 3. And then, you know, he goes in there and dunks the ball, and it was pretty clear that he got fouled. I'm not sure why it wasn't called, but that was a huge play, and you know, and he was in there, I think, when we had to make a stand on the last possession to try to keep them from getting a 3. So, look, these guys have all worked really hard. You know, we're day 2 of 13 days. You know, 13 days, and this series is gonna come at both teams very quickly, and you know, we're gonna have to be ready. And we're going to have to be ready for game 2.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a difference of bounds, you know, like, but that was pretty crazy. I was right under the rim. It's, yeah, definitely one of those things that you remember, you know, for a little bit. And pretty cool to be a part of it for sure. And like you said, I've been a part of another one that was even crazier than that, just in terms of the suspense and everything. But yeah, amazing shot. And yeah, glad he went in.
Being his teammate now for the last 2 years, what have you noticed about his comfort taking that last shot, having the ball in his hands in the last play of the game?
Yeah, I mean, he wants to do that. But again, like he's a maestro, you know. Like he has the ball, he runs the offense, he gets us in position, and at those times he wants the ball in his hands, and we want the ball in his hands because he's going to make the right play. And it's not always scoring. He's been making the play and making the shot for, you know, now some games, but it's not even about just making that shot. It's about making the right decision, and he's always going to do that. And yeah, he's willing to do that. Even in practice, he's willing to do it, and in the games, he's willing to do it. So
I know every series is different, and the personnel is different, opponent to opponent. But for you, with the matchups that you have now, what is different with the challenges you face versus the last series when you were going up against Evan and Jay?
Yeah, I mean, it's different. They have, well, obviously OG, you know, strong physical. Like, it's, you know, obviously it's not as tall as Giannis or Evan, like, you know, but he, you know, he does different things, and you know, guarding even Cat, like, be able to shoot. It's a different challenge. He's strong also. So it's all different. But I think for me, I just approach it like just game by game, and yeah, like I'm, you know, being here, just wanting to bring whatever I can to the team for us to be successful. And you know, some nights it's going to be, you know, just trying to, you know, guard whoever I'm out there guarding, and some nights it's going to be scoring. Some nights, you know, it could be anything. But yeah, I just want to do everything that I can for our team to be successful.
Pascal, there was so much that you guys learned from Game 2, national recognition against the Cavs, coming out of that victory. What did you guys learn from that experience? Obviously, Game 3 didn't go the way, but that's going to help this time around.
Wait, say one more time. Sorry.
So Game 2 against the Cavs, so much notoriety nationally with what you guys were able to do on that comeback. This feels similar with the amount of national attention you guys are getting. We know what happened in Game 3 after
there
the Cavs.
There is national attention?
Just a little bit,
Okay. So yeah, I don't know. I genuinely don't. But
just message to the team, I guess.
No, I think for us it's game 1. Like, I mean, we're playing against a super talented team. Like, they took out the defending champions. Like, I mean, they have ultra talented guys, and it's a long series, and we know that, and we got to focus one game at a time. And you know, for me, I just try to tell the guys, you know, stay level-headed and take it one game at a time, one day at a time. There's going to be games every other day, so it's going to be, you know, it's not going to be, you know, a smooth ride. So we gotta be ready for that, brace for, you know, anything that's coming, and be ready. So that's the message. Like, it doesn't really matter if we get recognition or not. Like, that's not our focus. Our focus is on us, and knowing that we're playing against a really talented team, and we got to be ready.
Pascal, you've had a lot of looks at Brunson the last couple of years, got 43, in Game 1. Like, from your perspective, what is so challenging about slowing him down?
I mean, yeah, like, I feel like these questions sometimes get tiring because I'm like, we're talking about how great this person is. Like, we all see it, right? Like, it's like, I don't know how to explain it to you, you know? Like, he just does everything out there for them. And he's a tough cover, and he's been doing it for a long time. And, you know, every series, like, he just finds a way to get the ball in the bucket. So, yeah, I don't know what else you need me to tell you. Yeah, he's great.
Pascal, I know part of your guys' identity, is, you know, wear teams down with your pace, with your depth. How much of a factor do you think that was in game already towards the end there?
I have no idea.
Okay.
I don't know, bro. You could tell better than I can. I'm just out there playing the game, and I think that's what we focus on, just playing the game, doing pace of basketball, kind of, and that's all we really focus on. Like I can tell you.
You guys have said.
Time for a few more, guys.
You guys have said Aaron is the kind of player every team wants to have. Can you elaborate on that?
Yeah, I mean, he does everything. Like, you know, yesterday he made like how many threes, like, and then, you know, games before he's guarding, you know, Brunson full court, like, and then they give him Cat, he's guarding him. Like, it doesn't matter who's out there. Like, somebody's going there, he's going to put his body on the line. Like, he literally does everything, and just selfless. Like, and yeah, he's tough, man. He's tough. I've watched him a little bit when he was in Boston, like, so, like, but just, you know, seeing his growth and how he's able to play and just every single night, like, whatever we need from him, like, he's doing that. And I don't think we asked him for those threes, but he knocked them down, that's for sure. And that was incredible to watch, man. Like, just him get hot like that, and again, doing that while guarding also their best player, like, it's hard.
Pascal, Coach talked about how you have to wipe it from memory and get ready for game 2. But when you have such an emotional victory like that, how hard is it to just forget about it and you know, put it out of your mind?
That's not hard. Like, we have a game tomorrow. Like, you know, how much you're gonna, you know, keep thinking about what happened before. Like, we have a game tomorrow, and it's a clean slate. Like, it doesn't matter if you won by 2 or 20 points. Like, we have a new game, so I think it's pretty easy to turn the page because there is a new game tomorrow. Yeah.
Pascal, what do you think you guys want to do better now that you've had time to digest it when you were down for the last second half? What do you need to do better in game 2 that didn't go well for you guys in game 1?
Yeah, we need to do a lot of things better. Yeah, I'm probably not going to tell you, but we need to be a lot better.
TJ, was how these games have unfolded the last few weeks. We know you guys take pride in wearing a team down physically. Do you notice anything mentally with the opponents down the stretch of these comeback victories that you guys have that makes you feel more confident that you can attack even more?
I don't think we're really focused on how a team looks mentally. I think we're just kind of together in the moment, trying to do what we can to win the game, and that's what we did yesterday.
TJ, everyone is talking about the game 1, the fans, the media. How was that for you guys on the court? What was the feeling yesterday?
You know, we fought back from being down, and it was a resilient win. That's really all I can say about it. It's a good feeling, but we have to move on.
Tyrese talked about just, you know, those late game situations. He said some big shots, pointed to just the trust that you guys have in those moments. What stands out to you about there, and why do you guys obviously hit the shots? But what do you think he has so much success, I guess, in those late situations?
I just think the best players have the ball in their hands at the end of the game, and they make big time plays, and he's just continued to do that for us. And when the ball's in his hands, we all trust that he's going to make the right play and make a big play for us, and he has continued to do that.
TJ, you've talked in the past about how important Aaron Nesmith is to this team. What was it like for you as his teammate just to see what he did in the fourth quarter last night?
I mean, he's our Swiss Army knife. Like you said, he just does a little bit of everything, and he basically, you know, willed us to get back into the game. He's just such a great player, great teammate, and when someone like him has a game like that, you're happy for him.
TJ, you've had a lot of looks at Brunson over the last few years. Have you seen him improve in specific areas year after year as he continues to kind of get better?
Yeah, I mean, he's a great player. You know, you're not going to shut a guy like that down. It's about making it as difficult as possible, and like I said, he's a really good player. We threw like 4 or 5 guys at him, and he was still able to score at will. So, you know, we got to make some adjustments there. But like I said, just a phenomenal basketball player, and got to be a little bit better at making it hard for him.
Rick was saying it's hard to make it hard for him during games. Like, where do you see that? How is it so hard to make it like that?
I mean, his ability to shoot the ball, and then when you're pressuring him, he can get to the rim and get to the free throw line. He's just a complete player, honestly. And it's, like I said, it's really difficult.
TJ, you guys took 2 in Cleveland last series, have an opportunity tomorrow. How big of an opportunity is this to take game 2?
Yeah, I mean, it's obviously a big opportunity, and we know the atmosphere that we're going to walk into, and you know, the punch that we're going to receive from them. We just have to be ready and stay together.
What stood out in film in terms of what you had to clean up? I think a lot of guys were saying even last night, even after the win, thinking there's got to be a lot that's going to stand out in film. What did you actually watch it?
I'm not going to.
Okay, without giving up too much away, but at least something generic.
I mean, it's stuff that I talked about. Just trying to make things more difficult for, you know, Jalen, and maybe not as much. You know, we got to be better on the boards and stuff like that we've already talked about. But it's more of a collective thing, just coming together and being more tied together, especially when they go on their runs.
TJ, I know you've turned the page already and looking ahead, but out of these 3 massive comebacks in this playoffs, which one's been the craziest, you think?
I don't know. They've all been pretty special in their own right. You know, we're just kind of focused on game 2, and you know, what's in the past is in the past. We got to move on.
Did you ever get an angle of Ty's shot after the bounce, and what was going through your head after it bounced basically straight up?
Yeah, I mean, I've been in that position before, and I was on the wrong side of it. You know, I saw it bounce up in the air, and it was one of those where it didn't look like it was, you know, the play was over, so you kind of it felt like the ball was in the air for like 10 seconds. When it came back down, you know, we were all very excited, but found out it was a 2, and we had to get ready for overtime.
How deep is that bag of shots that Brunson can go to? I mean, compared to other guys in the league, like how deep is his tool set?
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I feel like he doesn't have very many weaknesses. I mean, with his ability to shoot and drive the ball, and he can score from 3 levels. So that's why it's pretty much hard for all of us to guard him. So you just got to try to slow him down. And to answer your question, it's just, I mean, he's a complete player, 3-level scorer. Call it whatever you want. He's just a really good basketball player.
TJ, a comeback like that, a comeback like what y'all have been doing, starts with belief, or you can't get it done. Now that you've had so many of these, what level of belief do you have, and I guess how increased is your belief after every one of these things happens?
Yeah, I mean, for us, I think it's about playing the full 48 minutes, and I think that's the belief that this team has, is we play to the final buzzer, and we just have to continue to do that.
With the 2 second-unit guys kind of, I thought, stood out, Shep and Obi. How important were those 2 guys? Shep giving some minutes there, but Obi giving the 10 points.
Yeah, I mean, they were both great. I thought Shep came in and changed the game. You know, with his defense and got a big assist, I think, to Aaron on the wing, and Obi just made timely plays. That's what your bench guys need to do. When their number's called, come in and provide a spark, and that's what those guys did.